Yeah. Hey guys, I want to make a quick video. The other day I was on one of the Facebook message boards, and the discussion came up again about teachers carrying guns in schools, and I argued against it. Now, obviously, if you know me by now, you know that I don't argue unless I get my point across good. That's just me. So here we go. The teachers where I live are in a union. And I know some of you guys may live in areas where there are no unions. Okay? And the teachers union here is very powerful. Okay? And teachers unions throughout the country have been powerful in protecting the teachers. Okay? You have teachers that will go on strike even though their students can barely read. You'll have teachers that will go on strike even though none of their students graduate. Okay? You have teachers that are making $90,000 a year and are horrible teachers and do no work. Okay? So, teachers' unions are very powerful. Now, where I live, in order for you to buy a handgun, you are required to have a license. And the license requirement, I've gone over it several times, is classroom instruction, which could take 8 hours, but realistically it's about 4 hours if you look at it logically, but it can take up to 8 hours. Now, the teachers union will immediately say, because the teachers are being asked to carry a gun for work, attending the class is part of their training, attending the class is their job. So, this taxpayer will be paying for the class, which was, when I took it, $85. No, $70 when I took it. Okay, maybe more now, but it was about $70. Plus, because the teacher has to sit there, that is work for them, they will be paid a day's pay. It doesn't matter if the class is open 4 hours. They say it's an 8-hour class, they will get paid for 8 hours. In addition to that, the little booklet you get, that also will be included at the taxpayer's expense, $15. Then you have to study the booklet, come back a few days later, and take a written test, which is mostly gun safety and stuff like that. Okay, I happen to agree with some of that stuff because if you're going to use a gun, you gotta know what you're doing. But coming back, take that test. Also, let's call it an hour's pay or 2 hours pay. It is. Now, the application costs $10. You either pick it up in person at the pistol unit for $10, or you order it through the mail and you pay $10 plus shipping. Once again, application will be charged to the taxpayer. When you submit the application, you must submit it in person, which where I live requires you to drive or have someone drop you off at one of the busiest areas, possibly the busiest area in the county. Traffic up the ass, impossible to park, okay? And you go inside and you're usually out in 10 minutes, 15 at most. But when you include driving there, parking, going in, getting the application submitted, coming back out again, getting to your car, which could be 5 blocks away in a parking garage, okay, that's going to be another day's pay for them. Also, the fingerprinting and stuff like that costs about $100, taxpayer expense. Because it's work for them, it's their job, so now it's at the taxpayer's expense. And the first gun, your first gun registration is free. You do it with your application. Okay? But the gun itself, which could be what, $500, $1,000, That's going to be at the expense of the taxpayer. Ammunition, maybe not a whole year's supply, but a couple of boxes at the expense of the taxpayer. Okay? When you get the license in person, you have to actually go and pick the license up, because they want to make sure the guy picking it up is the same guy that dropped it off. That's also same unit, same place of another day's pay. So now you've got a day's pay for the classroom instruction, maybe an hour's pay for the written test, a day's pay to drop the application off, a day's pay to pick the application up. That's about 4 days and change pay, plus all the fees, license, all the bullshit. Recertification. Recertification is you fill out a form and you mail it in for $10 every 5 years. You're allowed to resubmit via mail. You don't have to go back in person again. But that will be $10 every 5 years for their entire career. Now let's look at this other aspect of it. The teacher is now being asked to do 2 jobs. They're being asked to teach, and they're also being asked to protect. The union will demand 2 paychecks. Okay? Here's another kicker. If the licensing is done over the summer vacation, like the classroom instruction, okay, stuff like that, if that's done over the summer, the teachers union says that with the exception of teachers doing summer school, teachers cannot work between July 1st and August 31st. Okay, which means that the teacher is going to be coming in to do the application or the test or the class over the summer. That day's pay is going to be overtime, because if the teacher has to come in between July 1st and August 31st for any reason, they are automatically given overtime. And this will basically be a cash cow for the teachers union. Okay? And you could have a teacher making $80,000 a year. And the union will say, the teacher carries a gun now. They have to protect the students in case of emergency. Add $25,000 to their salary. And if they ever have to use their gun, add a bonus. Okay, that's what will happen. Also, some teachers are dumbasses, and they will leave their gun in their purse. They will leave their gun in the desk drawer. They will drop their gun. Okay, they will not know how to properly holster it, properly get a holster for it. Okay, get cheap. Okay, some of them are dumbasses. Okay, I guarantee you 1 or 2 will have an accident sooner or later. Okay. And if you have a very, very violent school, this is a rare occasion. And we had a couple of violent schools where I grew up. Like violent as in the kids are gangbangers and shit. Okay, if you have a violent school, the teacher may lose the gun trying to break up a fight. The student may grab it. Because there are students in some schools that are fucking gangsters, and they will grab a gun from the teacher. And unlike an actual police officer, the teacher may not have proper weapons retention techniques down. Okay? The teacher might be in a situation where they are forced to shoot a student, not because the student is bringing a gun to school, but because the student is engaged in a violent encounter. And you could have 5 students beating one student to death with their bare hands and feet, and the teacher might shoot one of them. And you know what the media does, right? They get the little picture from their communion, and yeah, okay. So, and I know what you're thinking. You're thinking your home area, your state, your city, whatever. All the teachers are veterans. Most of them aren't. Most of them have concealed carry licenses already. Okay, and if that's the case for you, that's fine. Um, the Florida teachers that are going to be carrying guns to school, they have to undergo the police psychological exam, and they have to qualify as expert. That's fine. Believe me when I tell you, teachers where I live at, those teachers, I guarantee you, less than 1% will be able to pass the psychological test and qualify as marksman. Less than 1% guaranteed. So what I would be in favor of is, rather than giving the teachers union an excuse to rape the taxpayer, I would be in favor of hiring a dedicated armed guard. Someone whose job it is to secure the school and nothing else but that. If you have a town that is small enough where you can have one police officer guarding the one school, there's a village called Bronxville. It has its own police department. The officers go to the same police academy as all other officers where I live at. And the school is one school. It goes elementary school here, junior high school. And you could feasibly get one police officer to guard that school. But other towns or big cities where there are, say, 600 police officers and 100 schools, okay, not going to be feasible to get a cop in every school. So what you could do is you could hire retired cops that have a few years left in them, and they retired from the police department officially, but they're still fairly capable. Military veterans, you have a lot of military veterans that are coming out of the global war on terrorism, and they now have actual firearms experience, actual combat experience. You have security professionals, okay, guys that know what they're doing. Okay, you use those guys. They already have their own gun. They already have their license to use it or carry, whatever the fuck they want to call it. Okay, and they will be hired by the police department, not the Board of Ed. Similar to myself, who works for the police department. And their job will be to secure the school in dire situations. That means you would have regular administrators dealing with regular problems, and the armed constable, whatever the fuck you want to call him, he or she would only respond in dire situations. That's it. Because if you have an armed guard taking the kid out of class because he's being bad, that's going to be a political problem for the school. So they would do perimeter checks, door security, okay, evacuation drills, stuff like that, and they would only take physical action in the life or death situation. And that's my opinion of it. Tell me what you think. Am I right or wrong? And I know that the assistant principal that stopped Luke Woodham was an Army Reserve officer. Okay, I know that for a fact. I know that some colleges have retired cops working as criminal justice professors. That's fine. In fact, I had a professor who taught terrorism who worked for the county police as a special agent for the county police, and he secured the county airport, and he prepared the county to respond to terrorist attacks. And yes, he did carry his gun in class, JFM revolver on his hip, on his ankle rather. Okay, but that was a special circumstance. Okay, so in your school system, and the gentleman that hosts God, Family, and Guns is a retired teacher. Okay, and he's very proficient. So a category of guy like that would be fine. But teachers that don't know what they're doing and aren't members of a union will find a way to exploit the taxpayer. Whether it's charging the taxpayer for their classes, charging the taxpayer for their gun, asking for huge salary increases. Okay? Secure the school with a real professional. Don't give these fucking guns to these fucking idiots. Because sooner or later that will backfire. Okay, thank you. Goodbye.